The week beginning Sunday, the 15th of February, is one of the most significant of the year astrologically. Fate and destiny will play a part. There will be sudden turnarounds and early steps in an epic new beginning for your life. Wow. In this video, I'll talk about the transits and aspects of the week ahead and how they'll influence people's moods, the energy around you, and decision-making moments. And this will provide you with some guidance for your life as you go through the week. Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Fiona of sunandmooncalendar.com. I make calendars like this one for Australia and this one for New Zealand or Aotearoa, so kia ora if you're from New Zealand. I am based in New Zealand, Aotearoa, but this astrology is for the whole world. It affects everyone, Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, and perhaps I can bring a little bit of a Southern Hemisphere perspective to all the astrology videos that are out there. In this video, I'm going to talk about the astrological transits and aspects of the planets as they make alignments with each other, affecting our energies and moods. I'm going to go through them one by one. It's a very significant week, as I said in the first part of the video, because we have an eclipse and also we have the Saturn Neptune conjunction that is a once in thousands and thousands and thousands of years event in terms of it being at 0 degrees of Aries, and they only ever happen every 36 years, but usually in other signs. So it's pretty significant and it signifies an epic new beginning in your life. I'm going to do 2 extra videos this week because it's so significant to have that eclipse. So there's going to be another video on the eclipse with a sign by sign breakdown, and there's going to be another video on the Saturn Neptune conjunction with a sign by sign breakdown. I just was thinking, oh gosh, do I do 1 video, 2 videos, 3 videos? Because it's just these 2 events are really big, but there are other little bits and pieces going on at the same time, feeding into the mixture of energies. So we're going to go into what they are now, starting with looking at the lunar month and the phase that we're in. I talk about the lunar month because it is the most fundamental of astrological transits, the waxing and the waning of the moon. We are just coming to the end of the lunar month of Capricorn, which started with the new moon in Capricorn. We're coming up on Tuesday, the 17th of February, or Wednesday if you're in New Zealand, the new moon in the sign of Aquarius. And this new moon, where the sun and moon come together, is a solar eclipse. All right, that's the calendar page from the Australian calendar, this one here, and it's showing the wedge-tailed eagle because the eagle can fly above and see everything, and that is a great symbol for Aquarius. All right, so here is just the grid, and you can see up here with that golden ring, that is a solar eclipse at 28 degrees and 49 of Aquarius, and then the moon is going to get bigger and bigger, and then we've got a lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo on the 3rd or the 2nd, depending on where you are in the world. And then just after that new moon solar eclipse, the sun will move into Pisces. So we're in the lunar month of Aquarius, but the solar month of Pisces. Okay, and I've circled there more gold. Maybe I should have changed the color. So that golden squarish ring is showing the week that we're in now, the week beginning 16th of February until the 22nd, but I'm counting it from Sunday the 15th for the people in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, so new moon in Aquarius, and that is a solar eclipse where the moon will be coming between the earth and the sun and blocking a little bit of the sun. However, it will only be visible, that shadow over the sun will only be visible in Antarctica, South Africa, and the very southern part of Argentina. All right. So now we'll go into an overview of the week. So that's the week that I was talking about. On Sunday the 15th or Monday the 16th, the sun is square to Uranus. On Monday the 16th, Tuesday the 17th, Mercury is trine to Jupiter. Then the next day we have the solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius, and on that same day Venus is conjunct the North Node, and that is adding some energy to the fated changes that could come about with the eclipse. Then the Sun moves into Pisces, and then at the end of the week on the 20th or the 21st, that epic new beginning of Saturn conjunct Neptune. Okay. This week's transits and aspects one by one. All right, we're starting the week on Sunday the 15th or Monday the 16th with the Sun square to Uranus. This can bring an edgy energy. It could be that our ego and our leadership and our creative expression has some challenges and interruptions, sudden disruptions, or maybe some new and innovative ideas. But with the square energy, there's a challenge involved. So this could be energizing, edgy, like I said, some kind of stressful, but when there's a square, it's a challenge to be overcome. We recently had Venus square to Uranus, and that was bringing more disruption and a restless energy to do with relationships and finances. And before that, we had Mercury square to Uranus. This is all in the last week or so, couple of weeks, and that was at the same time as Uranus turned direct, and so there could have been sudden problems with gadgets, machines, and upsetting news or disruptive news. So Uranus is disruption. Expect disruption in your life on a small scale. You know, this isn't a big major thing, and it happens every year that the sun is twice a year actually that the sun is square to Uranus. When Mercury was square to Uranus, my laptop mic stopped working, and now I don't have such good sound quality in my videos because of that. But maybe it's going to ask that I think about a different way of recording my sound. I'm just thinking about it at the moment, that I need to overcome that obstacle still and work on that. So the sun square to Uranus could bring up something similar that's disruptive and shakes something up in your life, but again, not on a huge grand scale like some of the aspects of this week. All right, and then we have Mercury trine to Jupiter, and this is a really helpful one. Mercury is in Jupiter's house because Jupiter rules Pisces. Mercury is in Pisces. Jupiter is currently exalted in the sign of Cancer, and a trine is a really flowing, easier energy, supportive energy. And this could be a really great opportunity to be writing, speaking, talking, sharing messages of expansiveness, of creativity, artistic, spiritual messages, or information about charitable work or helping people who are disadvantaged in some way, okay, because that's this Pisces energy as well. And in terms of Jupiter being in Cancer, this could be support for talking about emotions, okay, and getting into some nurturing. We're using words to help with that. If you want to do a marketing campaign to promote a charity, this could be a good opportunity to launch it on that day. If you wanted to do anything like writing out or speaking about or singing any of your poetry or any of your words and ideas, especially on more creative, artistic, storytelling subjects, narratives. Pisces and loves stories as well. So in Mercury, of course, it's all about writing and speaking and communication. So this is an easier aspect, a helpful aspect, and all of these aspects are going to be this week. All the little aspects going on, they're all going to be playing into the energy of that solar eclipse. All right, so an eclipse, when the sun and moon come together, and that's a solar eclipse, and they're close to the north node of the moon, and I'll talk more about this in the video that's going to come out in the next few days about that solar eclipse, and that will have an all signs breakdown. Okay, but to summarize, eclipses bring sudden changes, turnarounds, changes to your life events, or to the lives of others around you, and therefore affecting you. And these have a feeling of fate or destiny about them, all right? Because eclipses, it's where the universe steps in and changes things for us, and it's the idea is that actually that's taking us further along on our soul's journey. All right, eclipses want us to move to where our soul, our deep self, our higher self wants to move towards. And we can be doing that from things that change within us, and we align our lives more with that, our daily lives more with that. But with eclipses, it's very likely that the changes come from the outside. Not always, but very often with eclipses, it's events that come from the outer world. So watch out for that. Okay. All right, and then Venus is conjunct the north node opposite the south node, and it's these lunar nodes are pointing in the sky that show us where the eclipses are. So this is extra energy for that eclipse, and this is a helpful energy. Venus is a benefic. It brings positive things, or she brings positive things. It's a feminine energy. She's in Pisces, and she's exalted in Pisces. So this could be helping us with relationships and finances with the eclipse. So that is nice, and I'll talk more about that in the video about the eclipse. All right, and then we have the sun moving into the sign of Pisces. Happy birthday, anyone who is a Pisces sun person. Oh, just thinking I've got a friend who's going to have her birthday soon. So the Pisces energy will be shining over that next month until the 21st of March when we have the equinox. So we'll be encouraged to be more dreamy, more mystical, more compassionate, to connect with spirit, and to have charitable, empathetic, compassionate feelings towards others. Well, that is nice. Okay, and then we have ta-da, the Saturn Neptune conjunction in the sign of Aries, 0 degrees of Aries. This has not happened in our lifetimes. It hasn't happened in recorded history, actually, that it's been at 0 degrees. It hasn't even happened, like all of us astrologers, we've been going back into our software to see the last time it happened, and the software doesn't go back far enough. Crazy. Okay, so I'm going to do a video about this, but to summarize, it is an epic new beginning in the Aries part of your chart. All right, so wherever that is, and I'll do a sign by sign breakdown when this in the video that will come out with the details of this. There could be epic new beginnings for the world. The last time that these two were conjunct, it was in Capricorn in 1989, and the Berlin Wall came down and the Soviet Union broke up, and there was a whole new world order came out of it. So that is also likely to happen. But in terms of your life, some epic new beginning that will develop slowly over the next 36 years. Okay. So that's it for this week's aspects and transits. Let's look ahead to what's coming up. Well, I wrote again about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction because that story will be unfolding over the next 36 years. All right. And then on the 25th, 26th of February, Mercury will turn retrograde. Mercury is a planet of communication and messages. So we're coming up to a time where those aspects of life, communication and messages will be not so straightforward, and we will need to fix up mistakes and go over things. And then on the 3rd or 4th of March, a lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. So all of that's coming up soon. There's always events happening in astrology, but this week is one of the most significant weeks in these few years. And now to summarize the week and the guidance for your life. Okay, so this week and then moving forwards, you can expect perhaps some sudden changes that come along, or that come along to other people in your life, and those changes could feel fated or karmic, and these could be new beginnings. All right, expect early in the week that there could be some edgy energy and even more disruption with that Sun square to Uranus, and maybe some problems with technology even. All right. And then with the Saturn Neptune conjunction, perhaps some clues or some inklings or some progress towards some epic new beginning for your life that could be unfolding over the next 36 years. So like just a whole new way of being in your life that's unfolding. So all the best for that, everybody. Please like, comment, or subscribe if you like this video, and look out for the following 2 videos about the eclipse and about the Saturn Neptune conjunction. Bye for now.